The words hit harder than I expected. We were sitting at my parents' dining table, the same one where I'd done homework and been lectured my whole life. I finally told them the news I'd worked years for, smiled, and said, "I got promoted." My mother barely looked up from her plate. My father shrugged and said, "So what? Promotions don't matter. Anyone can get one." In that moment, something inside me went quiet, and I decided they would see the truth, even if it took one unforgettable visit to my new office. Growing up, nothing I did was ever enough. If I got good grades, it was because school is easy. If I worked late, it was because I was trying too hard. My younger cousin was the golden child. I was the comparison. I learned early not to celebrate out loud, but this promotion felt different. It wasn't just a title. It was years of staying late, fixing problems nobody wanted, taking responsibility when others avoided it. It meant trust. But at that table, my excitement dissolved. My mother changed the subject to my cousin's new car. My father asked why I hadn't aimed higher. I nodded, smiled, and finished my food. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I just said, "You should come see where I work sometime." They agreed casually, the way you agree to something you don't take seriously. A week later, I picked them up early on a Monday morning. My father complained about traffic. My mother asked if parking would be a hassle. Neither asked what I actually did. When we reached the building, they both paused. It was taller than they expected. Glass, steel, quiet confidence. The lobby smelled like coffee and polish. A security guard nodded at me by name. My mother raised an eyebrow. "This is nice." I smiled and said nothing. At the front desk, the receptionist greeted me warmly and handed me a visitor badge for each of them. "They're expecting you upstairs," she said. My father looked around, suddenly quiet. The elevator ride was silent except for the soft music and the rising numbers. When the doors opened, the floor was bright and open, full of movement and purpose. People nodded, smiled, said good morning. One of them said, "Congrats again." My father cleared his throat. We walked past meeting rooms and desks until we reached a corner office. Floor-to-ceiling windows. A view of the city I'd grown up in, now smaller beneath us. My name was etched on the glass. My mother stopped walking. "This is yours?" she asked. I opened the door. "Yeah." Inside, the office was simple but intentional. A desk, a whiteboard full of plans, framed certificates I'd never brought home because they'd never seemed to matter there. I didn't brag. I didn't explain every detail. I just let the room speak. My phone buzzed. A message popped up. "Quick question before the client call." I answered calmly. Another knock at the door. My team lead asking if I was ready. I introduced my parents. He shook their hands, thanked me for my leadership, and said the project had turned around because of my decisions. When he left, my mother sat down slowly. "I didn't realize," she said. My father walked to the window, hands behind his back. He didn't say anything for a long moment. Then he asked, quietly, "What do you actually do here?" I explained, not defensively, just clearly. The scope. The responsibility. The trust. The stakes. When I finished, my father nodded once. "That's not nothing." It wasn't an apology, but it was closer than I'd ever gotten. As we walked back through the floor, people stopped to congratulate me. Someone asked for my input. Someone else thanked me for backing them in a meeting. My parents watched, eyes open now, recalibrating a picture they'd held for years. In the car on the way home, my mother said, "You should be proud." I kept my eyes on the road. I am. That night, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt settled. Because the real win wasn't changing their minds, it was realizing I didn't need to. I had built something solid, whether they noticed or not. Still, I was glad they saw the office. Sometimes, respect doesn't come from words. Sometimes, it comes from letting the doors open and standing quietly while the truth walks in.